welcome to GCSE History at Becket Church of England School. I'm Mrs Knowles, the Head of History, and I'm going to talk you through the GCSE course. Here at Becket we study Edexcel. We'll start in Year 10 with Medicine Through Time. We look at Medicine Through Time, and then there's also a section on the Western Front. We start with, you need a bit of understanding about Romans and their attitudes to medicine, but we start with medieval, how they treated people, through for the Renaissance, kind of the time when you're in Year 8 and you're studying Henry VIII and the Reformation, through to the Industrial Revolution period, right up to the present day. We've even had conversations about COVID and how that's different and the same to earlier pandemics like the plague. You also have a primary source section on the Western Front. We look at the views from injured soldiers, from stretcher bearers, from nurses to medical officers, how they treated soldiers that were injured. We look at their evacuation plan from the front line all the way back to a hospital for safety and treatment. We then follow the course into early Elizabethan England. We start with her reign in 1558 through to the Spanish Armada. We look at key events during her reign. The plots against her life to try and assassinate her, Sir Francis Drake's circumnavigating the globe, and we finish with the Spanish Armada and the impact of that, why it's sent, what happens and the consequences of it. We then follow the course, we look at superpower relations during the Cold War from 1941 to 1991. As the end of war ends between America and the USSR, how these two countries that were friendly become enemies. We go through the 50s and 60s looking at the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Hungarian uprising, into the 70s, which was more peaceful time, through to the early 80s and 90s with the fall of the Berlin Wall and the fall of the USSR. Then we go in, our other big unit is Weimar and Nazi Germany. It's equivalent size to the medicine. We start looking at Germany as World War I ends, how the Weimar set up, the treaties that are signed, through the 20s through to the Wall Street crash in 1929, which you're starting to do a bit in Year 9 at the moment, so you'll see how that's building your foundation for GCSE history, through to the rise of Hitler, what life is like in Nazi Germany for women, for young people and for the minorities. So at the end you'd sit 3 papers. You sit a paper on medicine. It has 12 and 16 marker essays, which are your extended pieces of writing. Elizabeth and the Superpower Relations is paper 2, which is a pure knowledge paper. And then Weimar and Nazi Germany, which is a variety. It's knowledge, it's sources, and it's historical interpretations of the past. What they mean, we have to learn to analyse them, and why historians have different viewpoints. When we do the course, we have a variety of textbooks that we use here at Becket. You can use Hodder textbooks or the Pearson textbooks. We vary them up and we change what we're doing. Now I thought I'd end on a bit of a, how I like to know about reading. I thought it'd be really nice for you to, if you're really interested, maybe go away and have a bit of a read. Here's some fictional reads that might get you started. Book During Art is a book about Joseph Lister, a surgeon in the Industrial Revolution. Excellent little read, so that's a nice one. Time Traveller's Guide to Elizabethan England, so you get an idea of what it's like here in Elizabethan time. Travellers to the Third Reich, the rise of fascism from the lives of everyday people, really getting to understand what it would be like to live in Nazi Germany. And then a nice book on 1 Minute to Midnight with Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Look forward to hearing. If you have any questions, you can come and ask any of the history department. Thank you for listening.